Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's 240 Ortiz here. Today we're going to talk about two topics. First of all, I picked up a new block to replace the broken 5.3. It is just a bare block, so it'll be a long-term project. We'll be sure to update you along the way. Second part of our video is going to be a part install. Got a new piece in that's going to hopefully fix a problem we had last time at the track. If you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that button now. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's go take a look. Parked the trailer Saturday, about a week ago, after running at Muncie Dragway Whole Shot Media event, where somehow we showed up to everyone's surprise and actually made it to the finals, running good old stock block, stock bottom in 6.0, and actually did pretty good. Put down a couple 8-second passes. Not enough to where we were before, but being easy on it. Anyhow, as you can see, car's just been chilling in the trailer since then. But on the way, we picked up this guy. So, old 5.3 is completely trashed, giant hole, cracked in 5 different places. But I guess this will be Project 2024. So another aluminum 5.3. This time I'm gonna try out a Gen 4 block. So we'll need to get a couple things to change over. One of the main things is on the Gen 4 block. Got the cam sensor in the front versus the back, which is kind of a good thing because I plan to run another 58X crank. Although I did get the crank with this, so I don't know. Could be a piston rod stock crank setup, or I'll get another crank. But either way, this is now back on a full 24X setup, and the nice thing about that is this thing fires up right away. Before, since I had the Gen 3 block, we had a cam sensor in the back of the block and a 58X crank, so I had to use a custom setup in the Holly, which, as far as I understand and have been told, it looks for additional syncing, so it takes another couple revolutions to sync up and get the crank to fire up, the car to fire up. So this thing is just instant now, so it'll be nice because then I can run a 58 off the drop down and should be able to fire up just as fast. So that's our go-to. It's going to be this guy, so we'll get this all checked out, make sure everything's good before we put anything into it, but probably just do very similar setup to what I had before, but with a Gen 4 block. So I think I've read some people said maybe they changed the structure in them a little bit. I'm not entirely sure what's different about it, but I'm pretty excited to continue on with that. One of the other things that, let me close this door. One of the other things that I ran into is this being an iron block, the alternator mount, and I've talked about this before. The iron blocks don't have the third mounting hole for the alternator in like an F-body type setup. And a while ago I had problems with it throwing a belt. We threw a belt first pass of the track. Luckily I was able to get everything fixed, nicked a wire, got that cleaned up. But I'd been saying for a while, it sure would be nice if I could have a bracket take that. And sure enough, I've been talking about this what seems like 2 years or so, but at the end of last year, mid-year, ICT actually made said bracket. So, not that I plan to run an iron block for a long time, but just to eliminate issues, reliability I think is key. So I went ahead and picked up this bracket. So you can see here, these are the two bolts that hold the alternator on, and then a third bolt here. So this is threaded, and then this also mounts to the front cover, and then it comes with just a ton of different pieces here to shim it out, whether you're running F-body Corvette, what's the other one, F-body Corvette I think GTO, Cadillac, and the truck, sorry. They all have different spacing, as well as not only is this good for like alternators, but you can run it for like if you have like a mechanical pump, fuel pump or something like that. So probably get this on, get that straightened out, probably just order an extra belt just in case. But otherwise, yeah, the car ran great down the track, so I need to get it out of the trailer because, like I said, it's been sitting there for a week. Drag and drive trailer's just chilling here too. Get the rest of this garage organized. Get this torn down, do a final analysis. I'll probably do a short video on that as well. But otherwise, very happy with how the car did and need to get it ready for street car takeover Indy. Alright, so we've got the car back in the garage out of the trailer for the first time since last week, as I mentioned. And what we're going to do today is, again, there is pretty much a threaded embossment on the iron blocks that are missing from the aluminum block, and I'll show you right here because I've got the old block on the stand. So here's the two standard holes for the alternator bracket, and then a third one here which is missing. And essentially, kind of tell from here, that's what this bracket creates there in the center. So something like that. So let's go ahead and get this thing installed. I've got a few tools laid out here. Pretty easy job. I need a 15 for the tensioner, and then just a couple sockets to take the bolts out, holding the alternator on, as well as a 10mm because the new bracket does bolt on to the front cover. So I'll go ahead and get this thing unwrapped, check what spacing we need on here, and do a quick time lapse. New bracket is on the car. I'll zoom in here. You can see bolts to the front cover, creates that new spot for the front bracket bolt to go through. And in doing so, I was able to tighten down the solid tensioner quite a bit more, and the alternator doesn't move at all. Before, without that front brace, the alternator would tilt sideways, and at high RPM this pretty much caused the belt to come off. It actually caught the fan wiring there, so I've got to clean up that connector. That was just to get us to the next round. Otherwise, yeah, a little tricky with just one person with some of the spacers, get everything to line up, but otherwise should be good to go now. So that's the video. Thanks for watching. If you would like to find a link to that bracket we installed, it's down there in the description. Next week we'll get into that built 5.3 and a teardown, so be on the lookout for that. Again, like and subscribe, and check us out on the next one.